we're faithful to death. I would die for you, right? I remember getting a call from the guy that I left in charge of everything when I finally retired. They were going house to house looking for him to kill him. I was 8 blocks away from him in my house, 2 o'clock in the morning. And literally, it was so bad that people were knocking on the house to see where he hid. He called me. I didn't have time to call a bunch of people. I got on my car, and I drove in the sidewalk. I got shot 28 times where my car looked like a strainer. And I didn't even get a scratch. But I would die for him, right? Because I felt that, like I told everyone that worked for me, no one gets killed for telling the truth. But what happens is, the dichotomy is, we're super loyal to each other, but you just can't have one woman. You're not a real man. You got to have 2, 3 mistresses. Mm-hmm. So am I faithful or am I not faithful? I can't say I'm a man here, I'm faithful here, and I'm a cheat here. You either cheat or you're faithful, right? And that's how all of life is. And for me, that emptiness, I mean, you end up having so much money. I remember one time, so I had a sofa that was catty corner. Imagine that sofa there, catty corner. And I'm sitting there in that sofa, and in that corner, my housekeeper comes and says, I haven't swept behind there in a couple of weeks. Since you're here in your office, would you mind moving the sofa so I can sweep? And I'm sure. I moved the sofa, and there's a bag with $700,000. I didn't even know who the hell dropped it there. I didn't even know how long it had been there or what it was doing there. That's how much freaking money we had. You know, we're doing $50 million a month in 77, you know? And so money's not what motivates you. Now, power is very addictive. When people say, do you miss your life? I say, oh, shit, especially when I fly coach. Of course I miss my life. But I don't miss the consequences of my life, the emptiness of my life, or would trade it for how I felt and how I feel now and the meaning I have and the purpose I have for my life and what I know what I was created for. But power is what I do every day still miss. And that's why you see multi-billionaires sell everything to become a politician, right? Because that power is so addictive, man. That power that especially when I came out of that world and someone would do something to me, and I would sit back and I'd say, you know, that son of a bitch, if he thought about doing that, forget about doing it. Thought about it, he would have hung himself. And now they do it like, George is a Christian. He's not going to do nothing, you know? And, you know, I needed anything. I remember going to concerts and sitting like right there in the front without even paying for the $10,000 seats. You know, you live that and you can get whatever you want and you can buy whoever. So very, very addictive, but it's so empty. And what happens, it eats you up inside, you know? And my life had meaning the day I walked, after I forfeited all those millions, and I walked into that cell in Mobile, Alabama. And I remember another inmate saying, Milky Way, Milky Way, Milky Way. I'm like, what the hell is Milky Way? And this guy said, I said, dude, what's the big deal about a Milky Way? He's like, oh, they only get them every 2 weeks. I said, how much are they? $1. I had not had a meal in 2 days because I was arrested in Springfield. Every time they moved me from one place to the other was doing meal time.
Oh, my God.
So I missed all those meals. I was dying for the Milky Way. And I sat there in that steel bed, and I said to myself, damn. 2 hours ago, I was a multimillionaire, and I don't have a freaking dollar to buy Milky Way. Unbelievable. And then, but I felt that for the first time in my life had meaning. Yeah. I was created for something much greater than what I had sold out to. And I had taken the shortcut, and I had taken the easy road. Not the easy road, the fast road, because people say, oh, you were a millionaire because you were a drug dealer. I said, yeah, I was in prison with 3,000 dead broke drug dealers, and I was the only one that had a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So, no, you're not a millionaire because you're a drug dealer. Yeah, it's fast money, but it's not easy money. Every other drug dealer wants to kill you. Every law enforcement in the world wants to put you in jail. Everything against you is against all odds. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing easy about any of it. I mean, literally, we were 5 minutes off mark on any smuggling run. We could lose the load and people go to jail or die. So, I mean, everything was like clockwork. So, you know, and then when I realized that, you know, yeah, I might not have money to eat, but, you know, I'm not empty no more. I believe that I was created for a greater purpose, and God will reveal that purpose to me eventually. And I can take this horrific life I lived and these horrific choices and the consequences I paid. Because I was asked recently, do you do what you do to pay for the wrong you did? I said, no. There's nothing I can do to pay for the wrong I did. I know the wrong I did, I should deserve to die in prison. But the truth of the matter is that God had mercy, but I paid in unbelievable ways. I do what I do because I feel that that's my mission, to make a difference in the world. Because I believe one person in God is a majority. And if you look at every great movement in life, it hasn't been done by a lot of people. Mother Teresa changed the world. It was just a simple nut in Calcutta. Gandhi, all those people, just people that felt that they could do something. They didn't need a bunch of people. And look, if at the end of the day, if I just change that one kid that wrote me a letter the other day from prison, been in prison for 6 years, he's 19 years old, and he's like, I'm going to give it a shot now. I'm going to change my life. Just because he read this little simple book.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've sent 14,000 of those books this year, as of June right now, to prisons all over America. My mission is to send 1 million. My mission is to call attention to this war on drugs and to tell people, rise up. Don't burn the cities, burn government. Not with a torch, but with your vote.
Right.
Elect people that will care about the communities. And we that have made it, we people of color that have made it, you, Michael Jordan, you, Kyle Lee Irvin, all you guys that are now giving millions. Well, you know what? It's never too late, but let's go and change our community. Let's do like LeBron James and change the acorns of the world and change all those cities. And you watch how those kids that were destined to be in prison for the rest of their life and die, and your dollar and because this is the funny thing about this drug war and all this bullshit, prison incarceration.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we? 14% of the prison's population. We have 26% of all the prisoners of the world. What are we? Guess what? It's government money. Bullshit. It's your tax dollar and mine. So we can give the government money for this bullshit, and American cannot have health care.
Right.
Can have kids are graduating with a mortgage without owning a home. So that's how we burn things without a vote. Because at the end of the day, look, and at the same time, not all politicians are corrupt. Not all politicians are evil. There's great men and great women that feel a calling to serve. But a lot of them are. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are crooks.
Yeah.
And they're there. Let's have term limits, man. You get to serve one time, get the hell out. Federal elections, they're going to pay for everybody's election. Everybody gets the same amount of money. So that the guy that can raise $1 billion cannot beat the guy that can only raise 100,000. So that then people can run for office and not be indebted to the war machine. Why are we spending so much money in nuclear weapons when we realize no one's going to drop a nuclear bomb? But look at a little virus, man. Shut down the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. So we got to wake up. And when we make it, we can't abandon those left behind. See, look at what Cubans did in Miami. We were a minority here. We were as discriminated as anybody ever was. We didn't burn the city down. We united. We united.
Yeah.
And my dad made me go to the same dentist that was our dentist in Cuba, even though all he had is a freaking drill that his wife was out there with the pedaling to get that thing running. No Novocaine, he put a block of ice, and that was anesthesia. But that was our dentist. And we kept our money in our community. And well, look where Miami is now.
It's hard to consider. I mean, it's hard to think about uniting when all the politicians are incentivized to divide everybody.
And media today. Look at media.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Just for the hell of it, I'll turn on CNN for 10 minutes and I'll turn on Fox for 10 minutes. They're talking about opposite extremes of the world. Now, somewhere in the middle lies the truth of whatever they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Half the country loves somebody, the other half hates somebody. And I thought that this virus was going to unite us as a nation because we realized all our lives were intertwined. We're more divided now than ever.
Ideology of it.
Exactly. No matter what the president... Look, I didn't vote for the president. I didn't vote for the other one. But I'm going to tell you something. He's my president. And I don't like a thousand things that he does for many reasons. Mm-hmm. All right? But his success is mine. Why the hell do I want him to fail? I didn't vote for Obama either. As a matter of fact, honestly, to be transparent, I bet this friend of mine $5,000 twice that America would not elect a black man.
Really?
So I was happy when he got elected. I've been a Republican all my life, right? But not the Republicans of now. Or I'm a social conservative. I believe in small government. I believe in family values. I believe in life. But at the same time, I believe in all life. So when my Catholic brothers, I'm a Catholic, fight for pro-life and anti-abortion, my question is, why are we not fighting for that poor immigrant child in the borders in a cage? We only want to fight for the one not born? Mm-hmm. Why don't we fight for that woman that finds no alternative but to get an abortion? No woman wants to get an abortion, But when you're barely making it, or whatever circumstances in life are, why do we have to go to Russia and China to adopt a child when women here, we can't adopt one in the U.S.?